This is what movies are all about, entertaining.
Movies hold memories. I can't actually remember the last time I was so excited to see a film. I think the last one was probably a Nightmare on Elm Street remake. What was it, 2010? I was in Canada at the time. We went to the Cineplex in London, Ontario, and there was elements of it I liked, but ultimately disappointing. But Trainspotting, T2 Trainspotting. I am so excited for this, and probably tell. Here I am, it's the day, it's the evening, going to see Trainspotting here at the DCA, and I'm really excited, and I've not been this excited about a film at the cinema in a long time. As I said before, Nightmare on Elm Street remake 2010, I was excited but ultimately disappointed with that. I remember Star Wars The Phantom Menace, being really excited about that, again ultimately disappointed. And maybe going back 30 years, Masters of the Universe back in Berlin when I was a kid. I remember being really excited about that, but here we go. The DCA, Trainspotting, it's on. Well, that's me, just got out of the DCA here in Dundee, Dundee Contemporary Arts Centre, and I've just saw T2 Trainspotting, the sequel to the British cult classic Trainspotting. And my first initial thoughts is, what an entertaining blast, really wonderful nostalgic trip back to a film that really meant a lot to Scottish and British people, and people like myself. I'm very passionate about the film, and to see all these characters come together, it was very believable 20 years after they were all together like this, and in the film they're also 20 years, it's 20 years on, but in the film it's 20 years since they've all been together as well, and you really believe it, you know what I mean? And it's a very nostalgic look back to that time. There's a lot of throwbacks to the original film and the time, and there's the elements of change ever since those days in terms of, you know, like gentrification and the digital age, and how Edinburgh has changed in many ways, and how cosmopolitan the city has become. And it's always great to see Scotland on film, and there's some beautiful shots of Edinburgh throughout the film. When you look back to Trainspotting 1996, it now genuinely feels like a period movie. It was a period film in the beginning, but even more so now. But even though this film was made in 2016 and released in 2017, it really feels like Trainspotting. It really feels like a Trainspotting film, but today. And I think that's what they wanted to capture, was this is Trainspotting. This is Trainspotting once more. It's not a remake, it's not a poor rehash, this is a continuation of a story of characters, infamous characters and heroes and anti-heroes that we enjoyed, and we're revisiting them as friends, and it's a wonderful reunion, and I can't wait to watch it again. And the film is hilarious, really funny, great dark humour, black comedy like the original film was, and great music, wonderful energy in the film as well, great performances by the whole cast, lots of old friends from the original film, of course, and yeah, lots of great one-lines that you'll be quoting once again, like from the first movie. Fucking hotel management. I would say, I remember the original film being very funny, but I think this film's even more sort of comical in parts, and it does have a lot of the same spirit and energy of the original film, but taking it up a notch a little. And I really enjoyed the kind of throwbacks when they're talking about their childhood when they were younger, and it's shown clips as if it's like old footage of them. I quite liked that as well. trains is a symbol in this film, a lot more than the original. They're referencing trains quite a lot in the film as opposed to like Trainspotting, and I think trains are a symbol in this film of, you know, like how fast paced life can be and how quick you're moving on from A to B and how things pass you by so quickly, but also how quick a community in town can change in terms of gentrification and moving on, like how communities can change. And I really can relate to the changes from in the last 20 years between the first Trainspotting film coming out and now, and living here so close to Edinburgh here in Dundee, I notice a lot of these changes as well. Of course I've knobbed her, and I'll knob her again. Obviously the film is loosely based on the Irvine Welsh novel Porno, although it doesn't follow exactly everything that's in that, but there is a lot of references to that book, of course. And what I also can relate to is the whole nostalgia thing. We're always looking back at days gone past and, oh, it was good in the good old days, etc., and there's a lot of nostalgia in us, and we're going back to a lot of things, returning to things, like for example, you know, like vinyl records and record players. We're returning to that type of thing very often, and returning to childhood memories and movies and things that we ate and drank, and there's a lot of that reflected in this film also. As I said, trains take on a whole character themselves. For me, they symbolise the fast pace of modern life and how quickly things pass us by, and how old we get very quickly, and that's a reference to that, I believe. Talking of nostalgia, Mark Renton, played by Ewan McGregor, he appears to be wanting to remember stuff in Sick Boy, known as Simon Williamson, the character in the film, played by John Lee Miller. He had a great quote: "You're a tourist of your own youth." I like that, you're a tourist of your own youth. So he's Sick Boy. Oh, Sick Boy Simon isn't interested in nostalgia and looking back, and that's what he called Renton. You're a tourist of your own youth. I like that one. I really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. I might check it out again very soon, we'll see. And if you get the chance to go and check out T2 Trainspotting here at the DCA in Dundee, go for it. Well done everyone involved. Speak soon. Cheers. Don't let your friends tie you to the railway track.